just right. Oh yeah. Alex and Josh take us back to the light. He-Man and those Ghostbusters, what a sight. DuckTales and Mario will dive in tight. Grab your cereal, let's relive the past. Oh yeah. Cartoon heroes, the memories last. Slash Trax Saturday, let's groove today. Hooray. Cartoon classics make our worries fly away. Zelda and my pet monster, what they gotta say. Hey, hey, hey. Tune in and let the review slay.
Good morning, Slashketeers and Slashaholics, and welcome to the Slash Trax Playhouse. I'm Alex Vanover from the Slash Trax Network, and I'm here by myself on this kind of rainy day here in Oregon on another Slash Trax Saturday morning. Josh is out of the clubhouse today. He's indisposed with some personal and family business. I'm going to hold it down for all of us today. We're going to be reviewing, talking about, and deep diving the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe episode To Save Skeletor. And let me tell you something right now, Slashaholics, this is a good one. No further delay, let's just get right into the review. Now, this is from Season 2, Episode 10. Original air date was October 3rd, 1984. So your boy had just turned 1 a month prior. So yeah, things are starting to look up at the Vanover household at this point. I'm 1 year old. And maybe I've just discovered He-Man. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm probably still being bottle fed. Who knows? Probably. I don't think I was that developed or advanced or whatever. The director for this episode was, I'm going to butcher this, by the way. His name is Lou Kachivas. 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 He directed episodes of Fat Albert, Black Star, Flash Gordon, 19 episodes of He-Man. He also directed the He-Man and She-Ra movie, The Secret of the Sword, which is a really fun one. Slashaholics, go out of your way to watch that. It's a lot of fun. This episode was written by Beth Bornstein, or Bornstein. Bernstein Bears, Bornstein. Beth wrote on Tiny Toon Adventures 3 episodes, did an episode of Doug on Nickelodeon, did an episode of Thundercats, 4 episodes of Gem, and 3 episodes of Transformers, amongst other things. I noticed in Beth's resume, she did so many things from our childhood. She is just a legend all over the map on, like, legendary cartoons. Top 3 Billboard songs of 1984. So we don't have Josh to guess, so I'm just going to kind of run down the list real quick. And 1984 was a huge year for music and movies. Just so many classic things came out, so many amazing movies. 1984 was a great year to be alive. Number 1, top 3 Billboard songs of 1984. Number 1, Prince, When Doves Cry. 2, Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do With It? 3, Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, Say, Say, Say. So you have some major heavy hitters, some legends in the industry on the top there. Just an amazing year to be alive. Let's go to our first commercial break before we get into the next little segment here.
And Cool's teaming up with a good balanced breakfast.
Teaming up with Mr. T cereal. It's getting on the team that knows how cool breakfast can be. You get a crispy corn taste with a touch of brown sugar. Teaming up with Mr. T.
It's cool.
Teaming up with Mr. T. Golden sweet crispy teas. One bite and you're gonna be eating with a team that's teaming up with Mr. T.
It's cool.
Teaming up with Mr. T.
I want some Mr. T cereal right now. Oh man, look how good that is. It's just basic too. It just looked like sugary, like crispy cereal. Just no marshmallows, no none of that. Just straight to the business. It always bothered me in Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he pours himself that big old bowl of Mr. T cereal and just like doesn't eat any of it. It drives me crazy. It's like those commercials where there's a big breakfast laid out for all these little slashaholics, and then they have like a bite and a sip of their orange juice, and then they're out the door for the bus. It drives me nuts. All right, what else do we got? We got some fun stuff. All right, top toys of 1984, and this isn't like the exact order they're in, But I can tell you for one thing, the number one toy of 1984 was definitely Cabbage Patch Kids. People were fist fighting in stores for Cabbage Patch Kids. Totally took over the industry in '84. Some other heavy hitters for toys in 1984: He-Man, obviously, Transformers, G.I. Joe, GoBots, Rainbow Bright, Care Bears, and superpowers. So like Batman's, Superman, Green Lantern. I still love those superpowers figures. I love every toy that came out in 1984. This is just like 1984 was like a good year for toys, music, TV, movies, cartoons. 1984, I think, might be the best year. I'm gonna go on record saying that. Top movies of 1984. Number one, too bad Josh isn't here for this. Ghostbusters at $220 million. Number two, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, $179 million. Gremlins at $148 million. The Karate Kid at $90 million. Police Academy at $81 million. Beverly Hills Cop, $77 million. And a little fun fact about Beverly Hills Cop, it was actually supposed to be Stallone in that movie. It was a Sylvester Stallone project, and he just kept wanting to rewrite it and make it darker and more gritty and edgier. And the studio's like, no, this is a comedy. This isn't going to work. And he ended up taking his rewrites in the movie he envisioned and making Cobra. So Cobra was initially supposed to be Beverly Hills Cop. So there's a fun fact for you. Number 16, Revenge of the Nerds, $40 million. The first Terminator, number 21, at $34 million. And then Friday the 13th, the final chapter, number 22, made $32 million. And then I know what you're thinking. If you know we love scary movies. Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 1984. How is that not listed here? Well, it came out in November, and it made the bulk of its money in 1985. So there's your answer. But Friday the 13th was the king at the box office for slasher films that year, even though Nightmare on Elm Street came out just way late in the year. January 20, here's a little bit of wrestling stuff before we start breaking down the episode. January 23rd, 1984, Hulk Hogan won the WWF World title from the Iron Sheik, and it was the birth of Hulkamania. That was the day. 1984 was a huge year for wrestling. Rowdy Roddy Piper joined the WWF. Piper's Pit was introduced as a talk show for the WWF. The war to settle the score happened. MTV, Rock and Wrestling Connection, Cyndi Lauper, which led into the first WrestleMania. 1984 was the year for all this stuff. Wrestling, toys, movies, music. 84, I'm telling you guys. What do you guys think? What was the best year pop culture-wise of your lifetime? Let me know in the comments below, because I'm saying 84. It's got to be 84. I wish I was able to form memories back then. I wish I knew this was going on. Got cheated. Before we start breaking down the actual episode of To Save Skeletor, let's go to our second sponsor, and let's get this commercial break out of the way.
He-Man meet Claw with his awesome grip of evil.
Fisto, Battle Armor He-Man, Clawful, and Battle Armor Skeletor each sold separately.
You asked for it, Clawful. Meet Fisto with his super smash power. We'll see who smashes who. May the mightiest power prevail.
Fisto and Clawful figures new from the Masters of the Universe collection, each sold separately. Other action figures also sold separately. From Mattel.
All right, Slashaholics. Fisto, Clawful, those are some huge additions to the Masters of the Universe toy lines. Still legendary figures. Fisto, though, maybe one of the most ridiculous names of any He-Man character, but Fisto... There's a clip where he's like saying, I sure wish I could fist him, or I sure wish I could do something with his fist, and it could be misconstrued. It's ridiculous. Wish we could get some of the people that worked on the cartoon for He-Man to come on getting sidetracked. Maybe that's something we need to look into in the future. I would really have a lot of fun doing that, I think. The original voice of Skeletor is still around. He's Alan Oppenheimer. He's like 95 or something. We gotta get him on the show. I think that would be amazing. So the show starts out like this. Whiplash, who is an evil warrior, he works for Skeletor. He's like one of the henchmen. He's the big green guy with the huge tail. Whiplash approaches the kingdom of Eternia and says he must see the king, so he wants to see King Randor. He collapses at the feet of the crowd, so there's a big crowd in the kingdom. They're having a party, and he's begging for help. King Randor looks, sees that this is a problem. He's actually hurt, and summons for the Eternia doctor. We cut to Whiplash being on the doctor's table. He begins to tell a story about Skeletor hatching another one of his harebrained schemes. Skeletor and the Evil Warriors are trying to summon Shigora, who's like an ancient, like super evil being from another dimension. And Skeletor wants to use Shigora for his own evil plans and hopefully take over Eternia. So he wants to make Shigora a new evil henchman. I did notice that it sounded like Whiplash has sleep apnea right now. Or excuse me, let me correct that. Shigora shows up in this little flashback. So here's Shigora. Shigora sounds like he has sleep apnea. I apologize, but it would be more like awake apnea because he's not asleep. He's got a problem. He would have to have a breathing machine on while he's awake. Shigora refuses to serve Skeletor and says he'll take over Eternia by himself, thank you. Skeletor's magic has no effect on Shigora, because Skeletor's like, okay, if you're not going to work for me, I guess I'm just going to get rid of you, and totally didn't work. Shigora's way too powerful. Shigora tosses Skeletor across the room like a rag doll. Skeletor says we need to send it back to where it came from. No duh. You did this to yourself, though, pal. Instant karma. Skeletor and all the Evil Warriors attack, but they're no match. Whiplash gets absolutely wrecked. He kind of gets backhanded. So it doesn't look that bad, but it's bad because Shigora is a beast. Whiplash warns Man-at-Arms, so now he's talking. We're back at the doctor's table. We're no longer in the flashback. Whiplash warns Man-at-Arms that Shigora must be stopped or he'll take over everything. Prince Adam and Man-at-Arms are worried, though, because it could be a trap. This could just be a clever ruse. The Sorceress shows up and vouches for Whiplash and says the only way to stop Shigora is for all evil and good to unite. So we need to have some sort of unsteady alliance here. All the evil warriors and all the good warriors have to show up and work together. So it's up to He-Man to get this done. So He-Man has to not only physically take care of this problem, he's going to have to politically and verbally take care of this problem because he's going to have to unite these teams together. He-Man has to save the evil warriors in order to save Eternia. Prince Adam transforms into He-Man, and it is on, my friend. Cut to Snake Mountain. Whiplash shows He-Man and crew the key under the rug at Snake Mountain, lets them right in. All the good warriors enter Snake Mountain. They come up on Skeletor, and his warriors are frozen and floating. And they pretty much look like Bev when she put her eyes in the deadlight in the movie It. They're just floating. They're frozen in a block or whatever, like an ice cube, and they're floating above Snake Mountain's ground. Shigora shows up. All the good guys hide. Shigora continues to try and absorb the evil warrior's power. He-Man, Teela, and Fisto break out the bad guys to kind of save the day. They must have an awful hangover, though, because all their powers are zapped. Now they're kind of waking up, and they're less than fresh here, guys. They're on a 3-day Shigora bender. The bad guy's power begins to return. He-Man gives Skeletor and Evil Lyn some Gatorade, maybe some Pedialyte to revive them. He-Man says their only chance is to join forces. Skeletor begrudgingly accepts, but here comes Shigora. Oh boy, here comes Mongo. Shigora sicks his own servants on the new alliance, and they're just really big bats. They just look like really, really big bats. It's fun to see the alliance work together, though, and to try to take on Shigora's minions. Fisto smashes the wall and releases a waterfall on some of the bats, some of the servants. Orko, Evil Lyn, Trapjaw, Fisto, He-Man, everyone is working together to fight these servants of Shigora. Meanwhile, Shigora's trying to take off. All the action is coming to a fever pitch here, Slashaholics. Let's go to our third commercial break.
Hooray! Lots of great taste!
And a whole lot more.
Lots of wild taste! More!
What's the super taste?
Kool-Aid! Kool-Aid! Lots of great taste!
And a whole lot.
Lots of great taste! Lots of great taste! Lots of great taste!
And a whole lot more.
Oh, yeah! Kool-Aid!
Oh, wow. And a whole lot more.
Okay, we're back, Slashaholics, and it looks like we have bigger problems than Shigora. It looks like the Kool-Aid Man is here, too, and he's about ready to break through the wall of the Slash Trax Playhouse. Skeletor saves He-Man. What? Skeletor says he owed him one because He-Man had saved him earlier in this episode from like breaking him out of the hangover from hell. They all have to head to Grayskull to stop Shigora because Shigora's trying to like take over everything now at this point. He-Man is inviting Skeletor into Grayskull. He's actually asking Skeletor, yeah, come on over to my house. Come over to Grayskull. This would be a great idea. Skeletor plans to attack right after Shigora is defeated. So Skeletor's got like a little plan B into effect. So he's in this alliance, but he's only in this alliance so he can get rid of Shigora and then finally take over Grayskull. Shigora is trying to like rip the door off Grayskull, so we're with Shigora at Grayskull. The sorceress should just dump a bucket of salt on Shigora because he just looks like a gigantic slug. That would probably work, but she doesn't. Shigora gets the door off and takes out the sorceress, so he's in. Okay, so Shigora's got the door off. Sorceress is indisposed. She's taken care of by Shigora. The Alliance arrives, but no Shigora, and the gate is back on, so it looks like no one's been there. Skeletor gives his orders to attack after they defeat Shigora, so Skeletor's kind of behind, like, like, basically, like, once this stuff is taken care of, we're gonna get He-Man, okay? Like, so Skeletor is Skeletor, not really a good person to ever include in anything, because he's just gonna be backbiting, and he's a troll. Skeletor is the ultimate troll. He-Man commands the drawbridge open, which is super cool. This is only the second time I've ever seen this. He like raises his sword and he says, "I command the drawbridge open." And then Skeletor's kind of like, "Oh, so that's how he does it." But it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're never getting that power sword. Good luck. Like, good luck. How's that? Put a little mental note. Put a pin in it. Doesn't matter, Skeletor. You're a chump. All right, here we go. Shigora is actually on the throne with the sorceress as his prisoner, and it kind of reminds me of like Jabba the Hutt with like Princess Leia sort of situation. He uses her, so he like possesses her kind of. It's kind of like an Evil Dead situation. He possesses the sorceress, and she attacks the Alliance. She's a one-woman wrecking crew. She's fighting very well against all the Alliance, the evil warriors and the good warriors. He-Man stops Skeletor from destroying the sorceress, though. He's like, "Hey, don't do that. Like, we're going to need her for later, so just maybe don't, unalive her. We're going to need her, you freaking ding-dong." Evelyn ends up saving the sorceress after Teela basically forces her to. So the sorceress is now back to her old self. They reverse the spell. But they need to hurry up and stop Shigora from pulling Eternity into an unknown dimension forever. So there's, like, doorways in Grayskull / Aholics, and basically, Shigora is trying to open one of these portals or doorways to like bring Eternia, all of Eternia, like to another dimension, and basically like put it in a black hole, like it's no more sort of deal. They find him and they attack. Evelyn, the sorceress, Skeletor, they all have to reverse the travel corridors fast. So he managed to get the door open, and Eternia is getting sucked out. So it's almost like a space vortex sort of deal. Shigora is being dragged back to space because the wall broke, to the corridor. But he's dragging He-Man with him. So it's like good news, bad news situation because Shigora's like peacing out, but he's also got his mitts around He-Man. The good guys try to help He-Man, but Skeletor is once again an absolute jerk. Shoots fire out of his fingers and totally blocks the path for the heroes to grab He-Man and bring him to safety. So Skeletor wants He-Man to be gone forever. I mean, why wouldn't he? I guess that's his whole MO, but still, I mean, this is ridiculous. Skeletor started this whole problem. The only reason Skeletor is even alive is because He-Man broke him out of that ultimate hangover earlier in the episode. The only reason he's hydrated is because of He-Man. He brought the Pedialyte and Gatorade from the Eternia fridge. Skeletor's a jerk. So Skeletor blocks the path. Fire is like all over the place. He-Man's not free, and we're going to go to another commercial break.
They're here.
They're here! Bobby, they're here!
They're here?
Yeah!
McDonald's new Chicken McNuggets.
Chicken McNuggets.
Chunks of chicken, a crispy batter, dip 'em in a sauce.
Sweet and sour. Honey.
And barbecue. Hot mustard.
3 sizes too.
6, 9 for 20.
New Chicken McNuggets.
A winner.
McDonald's and you.
And they're here.
He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe!
It's a Cobra attack! Get the G.I. Joe hovercraft! Get the new Joes aboard!
G.I. Joe hovercraft holds 9 Joes. It's the big new way to bring the Joe team into action. And it floats on water.
Release depth charges! Yo, Joe! Chase that Cobra! Way to go, Joe!
G.I. Joe hovercraft comes with driver, other figures, and equipment sold separately from Hasbro.
All right, Slashaholics, we're back. Drama is at an all-time high. The action is just to a fever pitch. Is He-Man going to be safe? I don't know. We're going to find out. The alliance is over, you fools. Skeletor gotcha. Reverse Uno card, okay? Orko creates just enough lightning, though, with his fingertips to break Shigora's hold on He-Man. And he lets He-Man go, and Shigora is, like, sucked into the vortex of, like, space-time, like, black holeness. He's done. He's gone. He-Man's saved. It's all because of Orko. And I haven't really talked about it at all, but Orko was having some problems dealing with the fact that his magic wasn't strong enough to help the Alliance at all throughout this episode. He was basically kind of worthless, and then he ended up being the ultimate, like, he saved the day completely at the end. So, proving Slashaholics that even a little bit of effort goes a long way. What else do we got here? Okay, here we go. The Sorceress sends He-Man to Skeletor because Skeletor dipped. Skeletor's on his way to the corridors. He wants to find the door that leads to the secrets and the powers of Castle Grayskull. So Sorceress sends He-Man directly, Power Ranger style, transports him to the corridor. He-Man is in front of a certain door. And he's blocking this door. And Skeletor thinks, oh, that must be the door then. That's the door with all the powers and the secrets. And he rushes He-Man. Well, too bad He-Man is a big fan of Home Alone, guys, because he totally booby-trapped him on this one. Skeletor rushes through the door He-Man was guarding. He-Man stepped out of the way willingly, no problem at all. He-Man, all the evil warriors are transported directly back to Snake Mountain. Sorry, guys. You live to play another day, but you're not taking over Castle Grayskull today. He-Man absolutely Home Alone'd your ass. Game over, son, until the next episode. That's pretty much the end of the episode. I love the ending. I love that He-Man didn't have to use his muscles. He used his brains. The Sorceress wraps up the episode by thanking Orko for his magic and bravery, and then they all head back to the royal party, which is where we started out to begin the episode. So just an absolutely fun, great episode with a lot of drama, a lot of high stakes. Great fight scenes. I loved seeing everybody team up. I like seeing Skeletor be a Weasley little dick behind the scenes. We're going to review and rate this episode right after our 5th and final commercial break, Slashaholics.
Some folks don't believe the super fruitiness of Bonkers fruit candy. They learn soon enough. Some folks think Bonkers is gum. They know it's candy now. With this extra fruity inside, Bonkers is so super fruity. Whoops!
Bonkers. Bonks you out.
Some candy!
All right, we're back. Slashaholics, you guys remember Bonkers? It's kind of crazy that I haven't heard about Bonkers in 30 years. It's amazing that they're back and they're sponsoring this episode. So kudos to Bonkers. Yeah, Bonkers. I think I only had Bonkers a few times. They just got swallowed up and just kind of forgotten in the candy market. I think that was a hard sell. I think they had like fruit in the middle of them or something like that. I don't remember having that many Bonkers. What were something similar, but it was chocolate. It was a Rolo. Do they still make Rolos? Because Rolos were really good. Slashaholics, what's your favorite candy? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. I'm thinking Reese's, like traditional Reese's. I like pumpkin Reese's, like the Halloween ones that are coming up. I love a good Milky Way. I love a good Snickers. Peanut butter Snickers. Josh and I are big fans of that one. Carmelo's, Fifth Avenue's. Let me know what your favorite candy bar is down below. What's your favorite candy that's gone? Let me know that one. Which one are you hoping makes a comeback? All right, Slashaholics, did I like the episode? Was I into the plot and storyline? Absolutely. I was definitely into the plot, definitely into the storyline. Shigora is a formidable bad guy. He's more powerful than all of them combined, so he's like legit. But it's confusing though, because isn't He-Man the most powerful man in the universe? I guess powerful man. Shigora is like an entity, like an otherworldly being. So it was interesting to see that little spin. I guess Shigora straight up versus He-Man. Shigora is more powerful, I guess. Shigora needs to work on putting some clothes on though, because he's obviously intelligent. He can see that everybody's wearing clothes. I mean, I know it's just like loincloths and like furry boots and stuff, but still, maybe get a couple clothes, get some clothes on there, Shigora. Excuse me. It was fun seeing both sides work together. I really like that. It was interesting. It's always fun to see Skeletor do something against his will for his own good, even if he caused the problem himself. It's fun. It's neat to see like them use their powers to save other sides of the Warriors. You know, like an evil guy saving a good guy and a good guy saving an evil guy. It's interesting to see them actually use their powers that way. It was also nice to see like kind of a B story, kind of like a second story in the background, because it's like we have to defeat Shigora, so we all have to work together. But then the B story is like Skeletor's got another plan on top of this plan, so he's going to attack once Shigora's gone. And I thought that was really interesting, and that's like really good writing. That was good. I really enjoyed that. This is the second straight Saturday morning episode where I really liked the writing and the next level thinking in the writing, because they did that in the Saved by the Bell episode, Fake IDs, where they're like, well, what if Jeff's not there? You know, Kelly's boss at the club when they're going to trap him. Like, well, we'll just have fun. I guess he's not there. So I like that, because I always pick stuff apart like that, and this is good. This is what Skeletor would do. I really believe he would do that. He would have a plan B after they got rid of the other threat. Favorite parts, least favorite parts. Favorite parts, obviously, the Alliance. Love the storyline. Love Shigora as a villain. He's super formidable. He's scary. He's tough. He's intelligent. I like seeing the sorceress like in a different form as like an evil sorceress. That was like kind of interesting. A different design. Very scary, especially for a kid's show, because she looked frazzled. She looked mean. What else did I like? Lots at stake. I said that before. Yeah, it's like Eternia is done for. There's going to be no Grayskull, no Snake Mountain, no nothing. If they don't defeat this Shigora, this is it. This is a wrap. There's no more fighting. There's no more parties. There's no more Orko doing magic tricks. There's nothing. It's all gone. So they got to work together. That's super interesting. I wasn't a fan of Shigora's design. I think I made a joke earlier in the show about how he looked like a slug. Not really sure why he's not wearing clothes. That's kind of interesting. I wish they would have had a little bit more backstory on Shigora. Why is he so powerful? Where is he from exactly? Was He-Man and Man-at-Arms not aware of this entity? How did Skeletor find out about this guy? There's just a few things I would have liked to have mentioned, addressed. But it is a kid's cartoon, and it is 21 minutes, so for the time frame we had, I had a lot of fun, and it was good. And I definitely recommend this episode to the Slashaholics out there. Go out of your way to watch this. It's free on YouTube. I'm going to rate the episode. How many doorways to Snake Mountain out of 4? And I'm going to give it 4 out of 4, even though I'm not super stoked on the Shigora backstory and a couple questions about Shigora. I think it was just fun. The time went by fast. I actually watched this episode twice before I recorded this. It left me wanting more, and I liked every beat of the episode. I like the story of like the whole theme of it. Like sometimes in life you have to work together with people you don't get along with for the greater good. And this was a great example of it. I think they told a great story. I think it's good for kids. I think it's good for adults. A+. Chef's kiss. Great episode. I highly recommend it.